Hey guys, happy Thursday. Today I'm going to be doing a couple more tips for gorgeous wedding day details. I'm actually combining a couple tips from the guide. I'm going to be doing the flat foam board tip and then also combining that with using a bridesmaid's dress. So when I approach a wedding day, I always make sure that I bring with me a foam board from Walmart. I'm gonna turn my camera around so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I wanna say that these are maybe $3 at Walmart. Look, you can see I've used it a million times. But I buy these to keep all of my details really flat when I'm photographing on wedding day. And oh, by the way, you get like a little mini tour of my studio right now. So anyway, I always make sure that I bring these with me on wedding day. Sometimes I'll load up with a bunch of them because I'll use it, and then also my my second photographer will use it. Sometimes videographers grab them too because they're really great to use, not only to keep things flat, but they're really, really awesome reflectors. Excuse me, guys. So when I come in to shoot, just like in the other video, I'll be perpendicular to a window and then I'll have the foam board down, and I might have a second one to put up here on this side when I'm photographing details just to use as a reflector. If I'm in a hotel room, then, oh hey Kathy, if I'm in a hotel room, a lot of times I'll use the pillows too. So I just happen to have a bed in my studio. I'll turn this around so you can see me. I just happen to have a bed in my studio, but a lot of times when you go in to photograph details, you might be anywhere, like a bridal suite that doesn't have a bed, that doesn't have anything flat. Hi, Marianne. So a lot of times you'll have to use chairs or anything that you can get your hands on. So these foam boards are great because you don't always have a steady surface. So I make sure that I bring this every single time. Also, what I use when I am photographing the details is a bridesmaid's dress. So let me preface that by saying my photography style is very bright and light. So if the bridesmaid's dress is a darker fabric, then I probably won't use it. I'll find something else that I can use. Sometimes I even bring my own fabric. I've even brought my own dresses in the past because I knew exactly what the color scheme was, so I could bring something with me just in case. But also, if the color is too dark on the dress, it's gonna show up even darker in your camera, especially if you're photographing lighter details like white invites. Anything that's bright is going to make that background look really dark. And the whole purpose of doing this is to keep the same color story from the beginning of the day throughout the rest of the day. I like to approach these detail shots as if I am putting together the album in my mind, and I want to be able to visualize that as I'm going, and I want the colors to be the same and consistent throughout the day. Because sometimes a bridal suite's not necessarily going to match their color scheme. So using that bridesmaid's dress is a really great way to do that. Sometimes there aren't bridesmaids. So what do you do in that instance? Then just use the bride's dress. I do that from time to time. And again, you can also bring fabric with you. So today I'm going to show you how I would shoot in this type of scenario. I have a tulle skirt that I happen to have hanging in my studio. If anybody wants to come model it for me, please come by. I haven't had anybody wear it yet. I'd love to photograph it. But I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see this setup and how I would do this. So I just have this tulle skirt here, and how I would typically do this is I've got my, hi Maram, I have my foam board here on my surface, and again, you can put this on anything. A lot of times I'll have chairs that have like a curved surface to them, and I'll put the board on there just to hold everything flat. So what I would do is I would take my fabric, whatever it is, a dress or a skirt, and I would lay it flat on the surface. And then I'm gonna use the exact same details that I used from the last time. We're gonna use these shoes. I'm gonna place this here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll try not to yell at you. And I would just put the shoes right on top of the fabric and shoot this way. And again, I've got the window over here, so I'm perpendicular to the light, so I still have the nice lights and shadows going across not only the shoes, but also going across the fabric. So I'm gonna take a few shots of this, and I'm gonna edit these. I'm gonna post them with this video so you guys can see it. And then I'll show you one other thing that I'll do with this too. So settings are gonna be about the same from last time. I shoot really wide open. So I'm gonna be at about 2.2. My ISO is pretty high because it's kind of dark in here, so I'm about 2500. So I'll shoot a couple shots from this direction. I'll do a couple shots from off to the side. And then sometimes I'll do them this way. It's not as dramatic when you have flat light coming this way. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But I just want you to see what the difference would be. And then also what I would do is if this isn't on a chair, I would probably prop something up behind the skirt so you have a little bit of a background. So I would build it up. So if it was on a chair, I'm gonna flip you guys around so you can see. If this was on a chair, then I would have that background in the back. So you can't have that when you're laying completely flat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and build the pillows up as if it were a chair so you can see what the difference would be if you had that in the background as well. So I'm gonna put you guys back down and turn you around so you can see exactly what that would look like. Give me just a second to do that. And you'll see this will be a little bit of a different look. One thing I'll definitely warn you of when you're doing this is to be really careful, especially when you're putting shoes on a bridesmaid's dress. Make sure that you're doing it the back of the dress and you're really careful that the heels are not picking at the dress. You do not want that. Well, you don't want that ever, but you certainly don't want it at the front of the dress where everybody can see it. There you go. So here you can see the setup that I have for this. So you see there's a little bit more background there. So it's not totally flat. You have a few more options when you're shooting. You don't have to be totally over top of the shoes. So that's it. That's how I create really gorgeous backdrops with my wedding day details. And I hope you guys found this really helpful. If you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to ask. I have a link that's going to be posted below if you want to join the Facebook group so you can ask questions in there as well. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. See you soon.